You ain't coming in here before you finish all those errands.
Yeah, whatever. I guess this crap ain't gonna get done by itself. Go see Vince. I was pretty hungover yesterday, but I think I remember where I work.
Postal as a franchise is both infamous and beloved for its satirical and graphic yet goofy violence. You can decapitate people and pee on their corpse, use a cat silencer.
Vince needs to see you, dude.
Thanks. Only my weapon understands me.
And for its willingness to make fun of anybody no matter their race, gender, political beliefs, or even social standing. They even make fun of content creators that make videos on their games, like Civi's Drugstore in Postal 4.
Shake a leg.
No!
How's it going?
Dance, Bone Daddy.
Speaking of Postal 4, while seen as a downgrade in many ways, it still retains the goofiness of Postal 2. However, due to the fact that there's not really any controversial topics they can make fun of, the game as a whole loses that satirical dark comedy the first game had. Like, for example, the most topical thing they make fun of is fucking COVID, which they call Patronavirus, which was later found out is being spread by Mexican cartel members. Very cool. Wait, what about Postal 3?
That's a good question.
What about Postal 3? Postal 3 is a disaster of a game that even Running with Scissors, the company that makes Postal, wants to forget. It was made by a Russian company, I don't remember the name, but due to financial issues they had to push it out to a different company, which elongated the development time, and when it finally came out, the game was horrible. And also, this is a real cutscene in the game.
Do I get a helmet?
Sure, as long as you don't mind that it's filled with AIDS-infected monkey semen.
However, there is one game that, well, rarely gets mentioned ever, and that one game is, well, why don't I just show you? Postal 1, upon its release in 1997, was very controversial for its violent and graphic nature, leading it to be banned in countries like Australia and Germany. And unlike the rest of the series, this game, for the most part, isn't comedic in any way. There's no count silencer, and unfortunately, guys, I hate to say it, but we lost a real one. There's no Civi Drug Shack. The game focuses on the postal dude who's just been evicted from his house, and whether it be a mental breakdown or being controlled by a demon, he begins to kill everyone. Vince Desi, the founder of Running with Scissors, voices the postal dude's grunts of pain when being shot, while Rick Hunter, the voice of Postal Dude in 2, his voice lines are labeled as demon in the game files. So, whether it be a mental breakdown or demon possession, take your pick as to why Postal Dude is killing everybody. Now, a question you might have is, hey, why is it called Postal? Like, what an odd name for a game about being essentially a mass shooter. Postal, huh? Well, in the 1970s to 1990s, a series of shootings took place at postal offices, where seemingly normal people went postal. Sound familiar? Have you heard this music before that I'm about to play? I'll give you a second to think about it. Any idea? No? Well, It's a track called Was That the Door, and it's been sampled in many different games like Silent Hill 3, Half-Life 2, even the Devil May Cry series. And it's not just that track. Every track in this soundtrack is like haunting and like more fit for a horror game than a Postal game, and it sounds very out of place if we consider the rest of the series. Here's a few examples. The loading screens themselves are almost like analog horror in a way, especially Truck Stop, and feel more at home in like a horror series. They actually give me like found footage vibes for some reason. I don't know. But the loading screens are by far the most memorable part of this game. Speaking of which, each loading screen gives us a look into Postal Dude's mind, with each text scrawl being written like it's a mentally deranged serial killer. Here's an example. Blood everywhere, like a river, flowing around me, pulling me in its wake, like a helpless child. It's all got to go now. The whole town, prepare for destruction. The game takes Postal Dude all across the town of Paradise until it gets to the Air Force Base. This is it. The new Alamo. Mirror them. Can't delay, can't risk infection. Come on, Grunt, let's rock and roll. He had been alluding to the Air Force Base all game, thinking it's the place where the government was spreading the infection. But after which, he arrives at his last place to go postal. An elementary school. This ending was unsurprisingly changed in the Redux version, but not because of how controversial it was, but because it just wasn't shocking anymore, unfortunately. And yeah, that's just sad. The new ending has Postal Dude walk up to a church and see a coffin getting lowered. After a while, the coffin gets fully lowered. The only hostile in the level is gone, and Dude keels over.
Population pressure and the stress of modern life may cause an increase in violent tendencies. The urban environment is the incubator for all sorts of undesirable behaviors. However much his atrocities disgust us, he may actually consider himself a hero. This is common among those who, in the popular slang, go postal. Those to believe that the entire fate of the world rests with them. In the end, our subject has displayed all the classic symptoms of paranoid delusions. We may never know exactly what set him off, but rest assured, we will have plenty of time to study him.
Here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind or the sun or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand, don't fear the reaper. We'll be able to fly.